This video is about how to use about the word restrictive. So I put this up here. So restrictive and non-restrictive phrases, if we can keep in mind that restrictive phrases or clauses are essential. So they are necessary. In a definition of restrictive clause, it will say something like it restricts or narrows the meaning of the sentence. In other words, this is a must-have. If there is a clause that just must be in there, otherwise the sentence won't make sense, then it's considered an essential or a restrictive phrase. Now, if the clause does not need to be there, it's just some added information for interest, but the basic understanding of the sentence is the same without it, then it's not needed. And you can set it apart with commas. It's not essential. That's not part of the main meaning of the sentence. Let's do some examples. And before I do that, the commas often show to your reader, they can be strategic. So in a sense, you're saying this is important, but not that important. So understanding restrictive and non-restrictive clauses, and then using your commas is a way that a writer communicates to the reader what's important and what's not important. So let's do some examples. The students who were late lost points. So the phrase in question would be who were late. So here's my clause, who were late. So you need to ask yourself, is this clause here, is it essential? Is it important to the meaning of the sentence? If I took it out and I said the students lost points, does it mean the same thing as the students who were late lost points? If I take this out, in a sense, it says all students lost points. And if you were coming to my class and you weren't the ones who were late, you would think that's not fair. And specifically, those who lost the points are the students who were late. So this would be considered essential, and you would not use commas. My cat just walked into the room, so we're going to use him as an example. My cat who has a torn ear wants supper. Oops. So our clause in question is who has a torn ear. And we need to decide, is that essential or not essential? So one thing you can do if you're trying to, it's basically the same thing. So if I said, my cat, wants supper. Yep, my cat still wants supper, whether or not he has a torn ear. I don't have any other cats. I'm not saying the cat with the torn ear wants supper as opposed to some other cat. So this clause right here is not essential. And I would then set it apart with commas. So essential, restrictive means essential if you should encounter that at some other point. If you write a page or a paper in college and your professor says that's a restrictive clause, remember restrictive and essential are the same. Non-restrictive, non-essential. And the big question is this clause necessary for the rest of the sentence? I'm looking for my The other thing to remember, and we've not talked, it's more non-essential. But if you're using the word that, it's more often going to be essential. Not all the time, but most of the time. All right, that's it for essential or restrictive and non-essential clauses.